Hello, my friends. I was shopping for a cheap kitchen knife and I saw this knife on Amazon just for $4. Then I saw this knife at Costco for $130. So I bought both knives. Same job, but huge price difference. Let's see if the Costco knife is really worth it. And stay to the end. I will tell you my honest opinion, which one I would keep and which one I would not. So let's open the first knife. This is the cheap Amazon knife. Remember, just $4 for this knife. Very simple, plastic handle, thin blade, very light, but really no complaint. It feels cheap, but this is a knife, kind of. It's okay for now. Okay, let's open the second box. I ordered this knife online. You cannot buy it in a store. I don't know why. You need to buy it online only. Okay, let's open this box. Wow, box looks real fancy. I think only box cost maybe 15 or 20 bucks. And the knife looks real cool, real fancy, looks premium, feels solid and much heavier. And I think it's a better balance in the hand. It's definitely, you can see that this knife costs a little bit more than $4. Yeah. Okay, let's do our first test. Paper cut. Both knives are new, straight out of the box, no sharpening. Okay, first the cheap Amazon knife. Let's see. Wow, it cuts pretty clean. For a $4 knife, that surprised me. I do a couple cuts, still good. For me, this is 8 out of 10. Now the $130 Costco knife. Same test, same paper. Let's see. And honestly, it cuts just as well. Clean cuts, I give this one 8 out of 10 too. So right now they looks the same. Same result, but the different price between two knives. Okay, now the real test, vegetables. I cut onion a lot at home, so onion is a good test. First, let's have the $4 Amazon knife. It does the job, it cuts the onion, but I need more force because the knife is very light. I have to push more. So for onion, I give it 6 out of 10. Now the $130 Costco knife. Same onion, same cuts. It also cuts well. The sharpness feels similar, but this knife is heavier. It's much heavier. So it feels easier to cut. It feels more controlled. If I cut a lot of onion, I would 100% pick the Costco knife. For onion, I give it 8 out of 10. Okay, next, potato. Potato is more dense than onion, so it needs a decent knife. First, the $4 Amazon knife. And honestly, it did better than I expected. It cuts the potato, it does the job. For a $4 knife, the only issue again is the weight. This knife is very light, so I need to push harder, and for potato I give it 7 out of 10. So now the $130 Costco knife, same potato, same cuts. It cuts great too, and it feels a bit easier because it is heavier. For potato, I give it 8 out of 10. Now a weird test. I want to stress the edge a little. So I cut some cardboards. This is not about cutting cardboards. This is just to dull the edge. First, the $4 Amazon knife. It cuts the cardboards, no problem. And now the 130 Costco knife, same cardboard, same cuts, it also cuts fine. I'm not testing performance here, I just want to reduce the edge. So now let's move on to meat, to frozen meat. For people who like meat, this test matters. We cut meat often on the kitchen, and a good knife is important here. My beef is not fully defrosted. Outside is soft, inside is still hard. This is a harder test. First, the $4 Amazon knife. I do a few cuts, and honestly, I'm surprised. After the cardboard test, it still cuts the meat. Yes, it is light. Yes, I need more force, but it does the job, and I can give it 6 out of 10. Okay, now the $130 Amazon knife. Same meat, same cuts. And here is the thing. I also need force because the meat is still frozen inside. It is not much better than the cheap knife. I give it 7 out of 10, mostly because it is heavier. So it feels a bit easier than the cheaper knife. So in this test, both knives do the job, but remember, one knife is $4, the another one is $130. Now the final test, apple. This test is about control, thin slices. First, the $4 Amazon knife. Yes, it cuts the apple, but I don't have good control. It's hard to cut a very thin slice. The knife is very light, and for this test, I give it 4 out of 10. Now the $130 Costco knife. Same apple. Here I have much better control. I can cut very thin slices. I can choose the thicknesses. So for this test, I give it 9 out of 10. So now my final thoughts. The Costco knife feels premium, yes. It is heavier, it feels more controlled. If you cook a lot, that helps. But it's not a magic. You still need to sharpen it. And $4 Amazon knife surprised me. It worked. It cut onion, potato, and meat. But it is very light. You need more force. Would I keep any of this knife on my kitchen? Honestly, no. The Costco knife feels overpriced to me. For this money, you can find great knives under $100. And the cheap knife is too light for me. If it had a heavier handle, it could be a great cheap knife. So my simple take is this. You don't need a $130 knife. It is better, but not 10 times better. And a very cheap knife can still work if you know what you get. So now please tell me, do you have a cheap knives like this? Would you keep the $4 knife on your kitchen? And do you think the Costco knife is worth this money? And thank you for watching.